Good morning, everyone. We're going to bring up our lyrics so that we can sing our opening song, which is Stand.
One, two, three, four. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. We are making a new world now.
Thank you, Heartdream. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Unity Spiritual Community in Citrus Heights. We are meeting today on Zoom. Unfortunately, our Facebook Live connection is not working due to an update. Apparently, they made it better. So we will get our Zoom recording onto Facebook after the service. We welcome you today, and especially we welcome back our guest musicians, Heartdream, Steve and Mirabai Bangs. They are actually members of our congregation and in spirit and in heart and in soul. And they support our church. And we're always blessed when they come. I wanted to mention that they have a new CD called Om is God's Sacred Sound. And if you look at their little Zoom window, they've got their website there, heartdream.com. So you can go there and order any of their CDs. And are we going to hear some selections from this one today?
Yes, we are.
All right. Well, let us know when that happens. And we are going to open our service by sharing today's daily word. Today is Sunday, November 20th, 2022. And the word for today is grace. Grace blesses my life in every way. Grace blesses my life in every way. If I'm feeling overwhelmed or find myself in the midst of conflict, I don't need to struggle. Grace, the ceaseless activity of divine love, is mine to claim. This infinite resource of spirit carries me through the most challenging circumstances. It is expressing in my life right now. I need not earn grace, it is never withheld. Just as water flows when I turn the tap, saying yes to grace is all I have to do for divine love, life, wisdom, and strength to flow freely to every part of my life. Centered in grace, I am at peace. My thinking is clear, and I possess ample understanding, compassion, and insight. Drawing from this divine gift, I bring harmony and joy to my relationships. I move forward with renewed confidence, energy, and efficiency. Our scripture today is from 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9. He said to me, "My grace is sufficient for you, for power is made perfect in weakness." and the word for today is grace. And now we welcome Heartdream to serenade us with a beautiful song.
Oh, sing, my heart, sing. Let my eyes gaze within me upon my soul, upon my soul. I am you, you are me. Thou art everybody. I am love. I am love. Oh, sing, my heart, sing. Let my eyes gaze within me upon my soul, upon my soul. Thou art peace, thou art grace. Every smile is your face. I am joy. I am joy. Oh, sing, my heart, sing. Let my eyes gaze within me upon my soul, upon my soul. I am light, I am bliss, angel wings in the mist. Bless my heart, bless my heart. Oh, sing, my heart, sing. Let my eyes gaze within me upon my soul, upon my soul. Oh, sing, my heart, sing. Let my eyes gaze within me upon my soul, upon my soul, upon my soul, upon my soul.
Thank you, Steve and Mirabai. So today's featurette is called The Core of the Boil. And I begin by apologizing for choosing such a gross symbol for this lesson. I would have preferred using rosebuds and kittens. But the boil is just a perfect representation of collective and individual unrest. If you are so fortunate as never to had a boil, or not sure of what one is, a boil looks like a big pimple. It is red, it is hot, it is hard, and it is painful. It has a head and produces massive amounts of pus. A boil is caused by the staphylococcus bacteria, known as staph usually. Staph causes an infection at the root of a hair follicle. In my current research about boils, I found unanimous advice to never try to pop or squeeze a boil, just to let it drain and heal on its own. And if the symptoms become too painful or severe, see a doctor to have it lanced. Well, this certainly was not the way we treated boils in my childhood. The common belief was that the boil would not heal until you removed the core. And the core was just a little lump of pus at the root of the follicle. Squeezing the boil in an effort to reach the core could take repeated efforts over many days, and it was quite a painful process. But almost miraculously, when the core was removed, the boil would heal. But in 2 days, gone. My mother had a very large safety pin. If you're old enough to remember cloth diapers, this may have been the kind of safety pins we used to fasten them on, and she used this to pierce the boil. She would sterilize it in a match, which would leave this black carbon residue on it, and she'd wipe that off. And what she did next, I'm not even going to describe to you because it was akin to torture. My mother had 4 sisters, and there were always aunts to help her, to relieve her if she got tired of her own efforts. And if these efforts failed, they would send me to stay with Nanine. Now, Nanine was my father's mother, and she knew things. I got sent to Nanine's when I was about 8 and had a boil on my elbow. The first day I was there, Nanine cracked an egg and removed that membrane, which is on the inside of the shell, and slapped it on the boil and put a bandage on. Left it on all night. Didn't do anything. So the next day, she took a piece of bacon, raw bacon, and cut off some of the fat. And she put that on the boil and put a bandage on. I was beginning to feel like a breakfast sandwich at this point. Left it on all night. It didn't do anything. The third day, she turned on the tea kettle. It's kind of like nice to know we were going to have a beverage with this brunch she was fixing. A tea kettle, and let the water boil until the steam was coming out of the spout. And then she put a little bottle, a little brown glass vial, like over the spout. Because what would happen is the steam would cause a vacuum in the bottle. And then she would take it off real fast and put it over the boil, with the idea that the vacuum would then suck out the pus. That didn't work either. None of these techniques worked, because they don't unless you remove the core. Because the core contained the cause of the infection. We humans experience boil-like circumstances in both our culture and our personal lives. We face painful events that seem to fester and spew pus. We attempt to eliminate these aspects of our society and our lives, sometimes using seemingly barbaric methods, and we repeat these painful practices, though they fail to cure the situation. All of life is a reflection of human consciousness. Through our creative power of thought, we have birthed this world, and it faithfully mirrors back the ideas and beliefs that we hold individually and collectively in race mind. Our beliefs about safety, lack, the worth of self and others, and our relationship with all that is, have resulted in our not feeling safe, not having plenty, and not honoring all of life. Some of our beliefs are rooted in our American past. One way was with the robber baron culture of the Old West, especially showed up in the railroad business and the mining business. And the robber baron practices left us with an acceptance of business practices which are unfair and heartless. Another source of our cultural beliefs came from the teachings of Charles Darwin. Charles Darwin promoted the idea of the survival of the fittest. He taught that competition, not cooperation, was the natural approach to success. And some of the other beliefs that have held us back were based on the writings of Sigmund Freud. Freud believed that humans are at the mercy of their unconscious minds, ruled by forgotten memories, dreams, and feelings of which we are unaware. And these ideas left us feeling powerless. Those are a few examples of what has led us to today. Our efforts to improve our way of life have not been successful. Prisons are not the answer. War is not the answer. Our welfare system is not the answer. Our modern healthcare system is not the answer. Yet the remedy is quite simple, though we have resisted it for many eons. The core of our suffering is our base beliefs. Until we get to the core, we cannot heal. Until we align our beliefs with the truth that no one and nothing is against us, we will continue to struggle and blame and suffer. But like the boil, once that core is found and removed, the speed of our healing will surprise us. In our personal recovery and our cultural awakening, the realization of spiritual truth dispels the heavy cloud of our erroneous beliefs. From my personal experience with boils, I have come to believe that the core will be found and removed in the fullness of time. And I love that phrase, in the fullness of time. So poetic. It means when it's ready. And the same thing applies to our evolution as a species. I also believe that we have reached the fullness of time. I see evidence of a new way, a new paradigm being established throughout the world. Good people, brilliant people, compassionate people are gathering to express new values and implement new systems. I am convinced that we live in the most exciting time in the history of the world. I'm going to repeat this. I am convinced that we live in the most exciting time in the history of the world. This is the time when humankind is being birthed into its true destiny. And we shall spring forth with a mighty zeal to bless all of creation. And thus ends the featurette. I thank you for listening. And now we invite Heartdream back.
find my greatest strength when I become still and enter the silence of my deepest being. I find my greatest strength when I become still and enter the silence of my deepest being. I find my greatest strength when I become still and enter the silence of my deepest being.
Thank you, Heartdream. And now we're going to bless our prayer requests. Here. Each week we bless the prayer requests that you may have had, that you may have written on the forms at the community center and put in our box or sent to us via email. We also encourage you to pray with silent unity and all the forms that are listed on our screen. We have prayer chaplains who will also pray with you. We know that God is love. God is a love that has no end and a power that knows no bounds. God's healing power of divine life is restoring, healing, and revitalizing each of us in this very moment. We express that divine life in all we think, say, and do. And we are blessed with prosperity, radiant health, peace of mind, and abundant love. And so it is. Amen. So as we prepare for a time of meditation, become very comfortable. We're going to turn on some music. This is an experiment. As we prepare for today's meditation, take a couple of deep breaths and sigh them out. Sigh out all the details of your daily life and just rest. Rest in the wonder of the world. We are sharing a couple of poems about stars. So allow yourself to drift gently in the image of the night sky and listen to When I Heard the Learned Astronomer by Walt Whitman. When I heard the learned astronomer, when the proofs, the figures were ranged in columns before me, when I was shown the charts and diagrams to add, divide, and measure them. When I, sitting, heard the astronomer where he lectured, with much applause in the lecture room, how soon, unaccountable, I became tired and sick, till rising and gliding out, I wandered off by myself in the mystical, moist night air, and from time to time looked up in perfect silence at the stars. We hold the experience of that perfect silence, and we breathe again. Our other poem this morning is by Unity's Poet Laureate, James Dillard Freeman. It is titled, If You Reach. The stars crowd close around me when I walk at night sometimes, like swarms of summer flies circling my head. They dance before my eyes, would dart into my mouth if I dared talk. To keep the stars from catching in my hair, I try to brush them from me, but my hands get tangled with the light, as in the strands the little spiders spin upon the air. Some learned people think that stars are far away, but they seem close to me as sight, friendly and warm and near as candlelight. I feel a kindly kinship with a star. Light years are for astronomers. I teach that you can touch the heavens if you reach. So we take the beauty of these images into a time of silence. Returning our attention to this now moment, we bring with us minds and hearts filled with starlight and joy. Thank you, thank you, thank you, God, now and forevermore. Amen.
This is a song from our new album. It's called Heart of the Mountains.
Travel In the heart of the mountain, power to realize dreams, source of sacred river, tears of knowing stream. Ascending peak of enlightenment, blending the head and the heart. Forever in peaceful contentment, where beginning and end start. In the heart of the mountain, power to realize dreams, source of sacred river, tears of knowing stream. In the heart of the mountain, power to realize dreams, source of sacred river, tears of knowing stream.
Thank you, dear hearts. Thank you for sharing. Our lesson today is called The Gifts of Cancer. You know how you hate that word cancer. I know how you hate it. It's one of those words that you like to say with just the first letter. You know, it's the C word. I returned today from a 4-month journey into a far country. This journey took me through cancer surgery and therapy. My days were consumed with medical tests and treatments. But more important than the healing I've received for cancer is the healing I experienced in my heart and in my soul. This strange journey unexpectedly provided reconciliation with family and colleagues, releasing numerous past hurts and resentments. And it allowed me to reveal my vulnerability, to recognize the love that has always surrounded me, and to claim my authentic self. I've had breast cancer twice. Each time I had a lumpectomy and radiation therapy. Sometimes when I declare that cancer is the answer, I feel guilty because so many folks have suffered more and lost more than I have with my experience with cancer. And I don't want to sound glib or frivolous or to dismiss the seriousness of this disease. But I also do not want the fear that cancer causes to stop me from sharing the spiritual truths that it embodies. Each person is unique, and each diagnosis brings its own challenges and its own gifts. When I was diagnosed this past May, The first get well card I received declared that cancer is a bully and assured me that I could win the battle with it. But I wonder, what if this isn't true? What if cancer isn't a bully? What if cancer comes when we need it? What if we call it to us for the gifts it brings? So often we humans wage war on the things that we fear. We've had the war on poverty. We've had the war on drugs. We've had the war on crime. Is war really the answer? Is our combative approach ever worked for us? When I was waiting for my surgery, which was a lumpectomy, I would talk to the tumor. I thanked it for coming when I needed it. I assured it that it had done a good job, that it got my attention, that it gave me time off work for rest and contemplation, and that it was okay for it to leave now. Sometimes I pet it. I practice MAP meditations frequently, especially before the surgery. MAP is the Medical Assistance Program that was designed by Michelle Small Wright, who is the founder of the Perelandra Garden in Virginia. We had a class on MAP about a year ago, last January. I personally believe that many different approaches to healing are effective. What I had envisioned in my healing meditations was that the cancer would disappear. This had happened to a friend of mine. After spending time in prayer and meditation, she had surgery and they found no cancer. And this is not what happened for me. And it's probably a good thing. I think I had a lot of ego attached to it. I wanted to be the poster child for the spiritual cure for cancer. Instead, the cancer was encapsulated and easily removed. And there was no cancer in the margins or the lymph nodes, and no cancer was found from the CAT scan or the MRI that I had after surgery. And though this wasn't as dramatic a healing as my friend had, who's to say that it wasn't a healing? We humans want miraculous demonstrations when so often we need to proceed in faith. There were two areas of great blessings that I received from this journey. And the first was having reconciliation in relationships with colleagues and family. Old wounds were simply shed like water off of ducks. It was obvious that a new day had dawned. I think that my personal experience reflects our time in history, that in this post-pandemic era, many of us feel that a new day has dawned. We are ready to leave the past behind and embrace a transformed world. As our church reached out to unity leaders in our region for guest speakers, and as I asked for volunteers from my ministerial classmates, we were surprised and gratified by the number of folks who came forward. During the 4 months of my medical leave, we were able to offer robust services every Sunday. Because of the possibility that there was a genetic connection with this cancer, I contacted many of my cousins. I am especially moved by the conversations that I had with a cousin in Las Vegas. She had been angry with me for about 30 years. She had been so angry that she would refuse to attend family gatherings where I was present. And I never learned why she disliked me. It could have been something I said or did. When I called and told her what was going on, the past just melted away. I've called her twice now, and last week she called me. She called to check on me. And we usually talk for about an hour. We share stories about our ancestors, and we're getting to know each other as our adult selves. And we laugh. Oh, do we laugh? It turns out that we share the same family sense of humor. And every call is a delight. She is family. She feels like home. And the last gift from Cancer that I want to share with you today has to do with courage and authenticity. When I was a child, I overheard a conversation between my great-grandmother and her sister. They were discussing someone they knew and how he seemed to be easier to get along with since he recovered from a heart attack. And my great-grandmother said that he had felt the brush of angels' wings. Felt the brush of angels' wings. And I later learned that this meant he had almost died. And because of that, he had changed his ways. Having a serious illness is feeling the brush of angels' wings, especially if you are already an elder. Since my journey through cancer, I feel reborn. I realize that it is time to speak my truth and dare to be authentic and vulnerable. I am revigorated and inspired as I write talks and articles, and I'm committed to diving deeply into Unity's core principles, as well as sharing profound ideas from other sources. It is a new day. It is a day for rejoicing. And I want to close with a poem called The Summer Day by Mary Oliver. Who made the world? Who made the swan and the black bear? Who made the grasshopper? This grasshopper, I mean. The one who has flung herself out of the grass, the one who is eating sugar out of my hand, who is moving her jaws back and forth instead of up and down, who is gazing around with her enormous and complicated eyes. Now she lifts her pale forearms and thoroughly washes her face. Now she snaps her wings open and floats away. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I've been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? And thus ends the lesson. God bless you.
all I receive, and all that I am. Divine love flowing through me, blesses and multiplies. All that I have, all that I give, all I receive, and all that I am. Freely, freely I have received, freely, freely I give. Divine love through me blesses all that I have, all that I give and receive. Freely, freely I have received, freely, freely I give. Divine love through me blesses all that I have, all that I give and receive.
Nice, and really a great song to lead us into blessing our love offering. Know that you are a vital part of this spiritual community, and it is through your support that we're able to provide our services. If you would prefer to send an offering in the form of a check, here is our address, our post office box. Or you can use the donate button on our website or our newsletter, or when we meet in person, we do take a collection. So I wanted to share a reading from the book Prosperity by Charles Fillmore. We are now on the verge of a new state of mind in matters financial. Let us do away with the erroneous idea that we must be poor to be righteous. Money is our instrument, not our master. Money was made for us, not us for money. It is not money that controls us, but the ideas we have about money. Ideas of poverty are just as powerful to enslave people as our ideas of wealth. Everyone should be taught how to handle ideas rather than money, so that they serve us rather than have dominion over us. And so with these thoughts in mind and with our love offerings in our hearts, we share Unity's blessing together. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I choose to give, and all that I am open to receive. And so it is. Amen. We have some announcements this morning. For the next 2 weeks, we'll be meeting at the Sylvan Community Center. So next week, on the 27th of November, we are officially launching Christmas because it is the first Sunday in Advent. Advent, if you are not familiar with it, consists of the 4 Sundays that lead up to Christmas. And each Sunday celebrates a different divine quality. The first Sunday is faith, faith or hope. So our talk is going to be faith or fear, which? And then we'll have our First Friday meditation on Friday the 2nd at 7 p.m. on Zoom. And on Sunday the 4th, it's the second Sunday of Advent, and we'll be at the Community Center again. The 4th is also important because it is the deadline for the Holiday Cheer Program. We have for several years participated in a Christmas outreach that is organized by the Citrus Heights Police Department. We have the last few years collected toys and then donated them, took them down. This year, they're doing something different. they're going to have the policemen take the kids shopping. And can you just see this? Can you see how this is going to, first of all, the kids are going to get what they want. I don't think that when we buy toys, we really know what would make them the happiest. But also to build the relationship between the police and the children and strengthen the community in that way. Target has agreed to partner with the Citrus Heights Police this year. And if we donate Target gift cards, they will get more than the face value for them. So we're asking that you donate money. There is a special place on our website that you can use. Or if you come to our in-person services, you just write it on the memo line that that's what this is for. And the 4th is the last day for us to collect this money, because the 8th, which is just later that same week, is the last day for us to get the money to the city. And we'll turn it into gift cards and deliver them. I think this is a wonderful idea and a wonderful approach for our time, and it builds community and our presence in the community, and is a way of adding Christmas cheer, because it's toys for kids, you know? So that is the 4th. The service will be at the Sylvan Community Center. Then the 11th will be back on Zoom. And then on the 18th, we're going to be back at the Community Center for our Christmas candle lighting service. And it'll be the week before Christmas. It'll be in person. And it's going to be followed by our holiday party, which was something else we lost during the pandemic. So we'll be meeting at the home of Bill and Mariana Graff. It'll be after service. It'll be in the early afternoon. It's a potluck. And we're going to have a gift exchange. And we've defined this gift exchange as a handmade or secondhand presents. We have so many crafty people that could make something and would like to share it. And also, I know that sometimes the things you have laying around the house cost more and mean more than what you could buy. So it is the handmade or second-hand Christmas gift exchange. On that day, we will also be honoring Lisa becoming a licensed Unity teacher. She doesn't even have her certificate yet. I hope she has it by then so we can present it to her formally. And then the last Sunday in December, since we're doing a holiday preview for you, is on Zoom. Christmas Sunday is on Zoom. It's on a Sunday. And we thought that it would be more convenient for people who, most people have other plans that day, to not have to get dressed and come to the community center. So we're declaring it a pajama service. So Christmas itself will be on Zoom, and I already have my pajamas picked out to wear. And we invite you to wear your pajamas, although you'll be allowed to stay if you don't follow instructions. We, in Unity, we say, you've heard the old expression about herding cats. Well, in Unity, we herd kittens. They don't mind any better, but they're so darn cute. And so that'll be Christmas Sunday. Then today, as always, we invite those of you who are present on Zoom with us to stay after the service, and we'll have a period where we can chat without the recording and check in and see how everybody's doing. We thank you all for coming today, and we invite Heartdream now to lead us in singing Weave and the Peace Song.
1, 2, 3. Weave us together, weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together, weave us together in unity and love. on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And now for our prayer for protection. We know that the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. God bless you all. Have a wonderful week.